Hey YouTube, MrLuBuFu here with the next part of the complete Magic the Gathering core set M13 set analysis, mostly for limited. Once again, since Wizards has posted this completely and made it a public domain, I can go over this in complete detail. Once again, this is mostly done from a limited perspective, though if there is something for standard, I'll be sure to point it out. So first we start with our Chaomancer. It's a 4-mana 1/2. When it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, this one could be okay with limited if you have a ton of burn spells or a ton of good spells, ton of good instants and sorceries. Otherwise, it's not that extraordinary, and same with standard. Arctic Aven's a 2/1 flyer. It's +1/+1 as long as you control planes, and it gains lifelink until end of turn. If you're blue-white, this is a very, very powerful card. It's very good. So be sure to keep that in mind if you're in those colors and you see one of these. Next, you have Augur of Bolas. It's a 2-mana 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery among them and put them into your hand. It's a pretty good defensive card, I would say. Not too bad in limited or in standard, I would say. Standard might see some play in Delver decks, probably not, since Delver's pretty happy with what it has, but you know, it's still sort of like a Seagate Oracle, so it's not that bad. Next, you have Battle of Wits, arguably the worst card to open in limited, and definitely going to be a card that a ton of people try to play with in standard. If you can make the Battle of Wits deck work, I mean, it's pretty good. Next we have Clone. They noticed Phantasmal Image was way too powerful at 2 mana. So once again, the Clone spot has been back to, 4 mana. It's okay in limited, nothing extraordinary, nothing horrible. Next we have Courtly Provocateur, I would assume. So it's a 3-mana 1/1 that you can make creatures attack or block, which is not that bad considering what you can do. It really makes combat an interesting scenario. So I don't think it's horrible. I think it's okay. It's better than Alluring Siren, that's for certain. Next we have Reprint of Divination. It's a solid card. If you're playing blue and you have space for it, it's pretty good. Downpour, on the other hand, is very good. Much better than Divination. Downpour is very powerful. It's a great finisher. If you have these, it's certainly worth considering. Next, you have Encrust, 3-mana, essentially removal spell for an artifact or a creature. Whatever it is doesn't untap, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So it's pretty powerful. There's certainly a good powerful removal spell in blue. Essence Scatter's okay, nothing extraordinary. But nothing horrible and limited. In standard, it's no mana leak, that's for certain. Fairy Invader is a 5-mana 3/3 flash flyer. I think it's okay. 3/3 flyers are always good, and for 5 mana it's fine. And flash, maybe you blow someone out with it, and it seems solid. Fogbanks is 0/2 that can just always block, which is not a bad thing. If you're playing a defensive sort of deck where you want to hit big creatures, Fogbank's pretty good at holding the line. Next you have Harbor Serpent, fun little reprint. Sideboard in limited, if they are playing islands and you are as well, then you might want to consider playing it, otherwise no. Hydra Surge is not that good. Index is not that good, though a ton of people want us to make Index work with Miracles in standard. Jace Memory Adept, in my opinion, is the best mythic you can open in any sort of sealed or limited environment, because you cast him and essentially in 3 turns he wins you the game. It's very good. Jace's Phantasms, not that good in limited, though a ton of people want to make it work in standard with a couple other cards that are running around. I personally don't think that there's enough going around to make it be that powerful. Next you have Kraken Hatchling. It's a 0/4, good defensive creature, another good one worth considering. Master of the Pearl Trident, in my opinion, is going to be very good in Modern. Modern Merfolk needed one more thing to put it over the top, and I think this is it. It's certainly going to see legacy play as well, no standard play. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident, it's a 1/1. I'm going to sneeze. So apparently I'm allergic to Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. That's what you get for not being a master. It's just a 1/1, not that good. Don't play it. Mind Sculpt is the card people want to break. Target opponent puts the top 7 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. I don't think it's that good in Limited because there's not much else to back it up. Negate is good reprint. Gonna see standard sideboard play, maybe main board, some people do it. Omniscience is giant, 10 mana, you get to cast anything. Seems like it might be fun in EDH in like a Drawer of the Gitu sort of deck. Just because you can suspend this and then everything you cast is free. Redirect is just a decent reprint, not amazing. Rewind is interesting. I think it's people are going to try and make it work. I'm not sure if there's enough support for it, because you need to, you know, you can counterspell, untap up to 4 lands, but then what you do with those 4 lands is important, because you're paying, you know, an extra mana over cancel, 2 mana over mana leak. You want to do something with that mana. Scroll Thief's quite good and limited. It's very powerful, so certainly one worth taking. Sleep is also just a great finisher. It's among my favorite sorceries to cast in a core set. Next you have Spelltwine. I don't think it's that good in limited. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, understand you can only cast this if there are 2 target. If there has to be an instant sorcery in your graveyard and one in an opponent's, because it's target. You have to target both of them. So be sure to keep that in mind. Factor Fishing Sphinx is powerful. Stormtide Leviathan's powerful. They're both very good. Switcheroo is also going to be pretty good, because you can just swap your 1/1 with something big that they just played, which is good. Tolerant Sky Summoner is also very powerful, especially if you have instants or sorceries to back it up, like Tolerance Invocation, which is pretty good actually, because you get 4 power worth of flyers for 4 mana, which is good. Tricks of the Trade is not that good. 4 mana to make it unblockable is meh. Unsummon's okay. It's not Vapor Snag, but it's fine. Though the flavor text is not as good as in previous core sets, though I do approve the Shakespeare reference. Vildelkin Entrancer, 4 mana Horned Turtle. That target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library to his or her graveyard. Not that good. It's the only other legitimate mill card, but it's not nearly good enough to make it work. Voidstalker is quite powerful in EDH, and limited I think it's fine, just because you can shuffle away some of their best creature. Water Courser is not insane, but I think it's okay. A 2/3 for 3 is solid in this format. Welkin Turn is not going to be as good as it was long ago back in Zendikar, because Zendikar was hyper aggressive, just hyper aggressive. So Welkin Turn was good then. This time around, I think there's enough 2 power flyers that it's okay. And Windrake is a 2/2 for 3. So, you know, decent. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and check out the other colors as I post them.